All right, listener, ready to dive in? We're tackling The Dream Weaver, the first book in this awesome Dream Chronicles series by Princess Sarah Akpu.
It's got this really cool global buzz going on, even before you open it up.
Oh yeah, the praise on the back is wild. Critics from like Nigeria, Sweden, the US, all these different places.
It seems like dreams, and how powerful they can be. It's something everyone gets.
Totally. And we've even got those activity questions at the end of the book.
Yeah.
So even after we're done with this deep dive, there's more to explore.
Plenty to think about. But let's start with the story itself. We're transported to this village, a Gunji.
Where even the wind whispers secrets, right?
Exactly. And it's here we meet Zuram, but her birth, well, let's just say it's not your average arrival.
Definitely not. And it all starts with her mother, Ijego, who really, really wanted a child.
And it wasn't just a personal thing. In a Gunji, there was this intense societal pressure to have kids.
It was almost an expectation, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then you've got Uduka, the village. How do we put this nicely?
The eccentric one.
Yeah, let's go with eccentric. She's almost like an oracle, and she bursts in with this dramatic prophecy. Ijego will have a daughter, and this daughter, she's destined for greatness.
And that greatness arrives during a fleeting eclipse, right? It's like, boom, the universe is shining a spotlight right on Zuram.
A total spotlight. It's interesting how the book blends real-life stuff with the supernatural. I mean, you've got Ijego, desperate for a child, and then, bam, Zuram's arrival is this almost mythical event.
It makes you think, like, how much of what we want is shaped by what everyone expects of us,
Absolutely. And speaking of destiny, Zuram's whole connection to dreams, it goes way beyond just childhood imagination.
For her, dreams are more vivid, more real than waking life almost.
And then, when she's just 6 years old, she stumbles into a villager's nightmare and instinctively transforms it into peace.
Like without even trying.
Pure instinct. But that raises some big questions, right? Imagine having that kind of power over someone else's subconscious. It's a huge responsibility, even if you don't fully get it.
And she's not the only one feeling a bit like an outsider. Her friend, Osina, an albino boy, he gets it. He's also walking a path less traveled.
He becomes this key guide for her, helping Zuram understand that the spirit world and the dream world, they're not separate. They're all connected.
They're intertwined.
Yes. And their conversation by the river, that's crucial. Imagine being told that your deepest fear, the thing that makes you different, is actually a gift.
It's a pretty powerful realization, especially for a kid.
Oh, for sure. Osina helps her start accepting this power, even though it's scary.
But then things get a bit darker. Zuram, she tries to use her powers to help others with their nightmares, but it kind of backfires.
Big time backfires. Nightmares start running wild in the village, way worse than before, and that's when we meet Adra.
No, he's a piece of work, isn't he? A dream weaver, yeah, but aligned with the Dream Lord.
Basically the king of fear and control, right? And Adra, he actually enjoys nightmares, sees them as tools to manipulate people.
It's a stark contrast to Zuram, who just wants to bring peace.
Night and day, they're meeting in the dream world. That's a seriously unsettling moment. Audra lays down these warnings about the forces Zuram is messing with.
It's a huge reality check. She's dealing with something way bigger than just bad dreams.
And it gets even more intense when Osina falls into this deep, unnatural sleep. It's obviously the Dream Lord's trap. He's forcing Zuram to face him.
They find themselves in the Dream Lord's lair, and man, that place is oppressive.
Oh, yeah. And then comes the temptation, classic good versus evil, but with a dream world twist. The Dream Lord says, join me, embrace the power.
But Zuram's response, that's where it gets really interesting. She doesn't fight power with power. She and Osina, they use their own end dreams to escape the trap.
It's like even in this messed up realm, they find a way out through hope. Makes you wonder, what could we do if we had that kind of collective hope in real life, right?
It's a powerful thought.
And that escape, it's not just a plot device. Princess Sarah Akpu is showing us that you don't have to give in to fear. I mean, they're outnumbered, outmatched, but their hope breaks them free. Pretty powerful metaphor.
For sure. But freedom leads them to another challenge, the Weaver's Curse. They meet Elijah, a wise dream weaver who's tracked by this curse, and she hits them with this riddle.
But it's not just a random brain teaser, is it?
Nope, not at all.
This riddle, it's the core message of the whole book. And the answer, hope. Hope beats fear, and it can literally weave its own magic.
And by solving the riddle, Zuram receives a gift from Elijah, a piece of her power to help fight the Dream Lord.
It's like leveling up. But then the Dream Fairy swoops in with a warning. Even good intentions can have consequences you don't expect.
It's a warning that really sticks with you, right? Like a reminder that even when you're trying to do good, there could be ripples.
Ripples for sure. But speaking of ripples for sure. But speaking of ripples, let's go back to that moment when Zaram and Osina, they come back to the village.
Everyone thought they were gone, right?
And gone for good.
Graves were being dug, and then boom, they're back.
What a moment, right? It's like this wave of relief washes over the village.
Absolutely. It really shows that even when things seem hopeless, that belief of a community can be a force for change,
Yeah.
Makes you think about the power of hope and not just in a story.
Totally. And amidst all the celebrating, you can see Zaram's changing. She's not just happy to be back. There's this new awareness about her role as the Dreamweaver.
It's not a title she chose, but she's accepting it.
She knows that balance between dreams and reality, it's up to her now.
She's graduated from Dreamweaver 101.
Exactly. She's gone from just reacting to nightmares to actively choosing to protect dreams.
That's a huge step.
And even the book's landscape changes, right? Remember all those beautiful, vibrant dreamscapes from earlier?
Yeah.
Now we're in these darker, more oppressive places, the places the Dream Lord controls.
It's like a visual cue that things are getting serious, that the challenges are getting tougher.
Exactly. Princess Sarah Akpu is so clever with how she uses the setting to reflect what's going on inside Zaram.
Let's talk about the Dream Fairy for a second. A figure straight out of village lore, but there's this mystery surrounding her.
And she only appears because of what Zaram did, suggesting that even hope itself can awaken powerful forces,
It's interesting.
Their conversation, that's where it gets really fascinating. It's not just a simple good versus evil thing anymore.
It's more complex.
Way more. The Dream Fairy says that the Dream Lord, as bad as he is actually needed for balance.
Whoa, that's a twist.
Right. It makes you rethink the whole idea of bad guys and whether even nightmares have a purpose in the grand scheme of things.
It's like saying we need the darkness to appreciate the light.
Exactly. And Zaram, she faces that idea head on. She accepts the Dream Fairy's gift, the true power of the Dreamweaver.
And she knows she has to use it to protect, not control. That's a key difference.
Huge difference. It's like she's realizing that true power comes with responsibility, with being a guardian, not a dictator.
She's gone from helping individuals to protecting a whole community.
Maybe even the world. And she doesn't take it lightly. We see her struggling with doubt, wondering if she's ready.
But in the end, she chooses courage over fear.
She knows that if she doesn't act, darkness will win. But thankfully, she's not alone, right?
Osina's right there with her, showing that even the most powerful Dreamweaver needs support.
Their friendship is so important, a reminder that we don't have to face our fears by ourselves.
It's a powerful message.
And their journey, it leads to that amazing final scene where they're standing at the edge of the forest looking out at the world. They're back in familiar territory, but forever changed.
What's striking is it's not a tidy ending. There's still a sense of struggle, of more challenges to come.
Right. And that warning from the Dream Fairy that dreams are always under threat, that sticks with you.
It does. It's almost a call to action, not just for Zaram, but for us too.
Princess Sarah Akpu is saying, hey, you have a role to play in shaping the dream world too.
It makes you think about the impact our own thoughts and actions have on the dreamscape.
For sure. But before we get too philosophical, let's talk about what makes the Dreamweaver so captivating.
It's more than just a good story.
Right. Well, first off, the setting. A Gunji village with all its traditions and culture.
It's almost like a character itself.
Yes. The author brings it to life so vividly. You can practically feel the wind whispering secrets, the stars sharing their wisdom.
It's this awesome blend of the familiar and the magical. The magical stuff feels grounded in a real world.
Makes it all the more believable, right? And within that setting, Princess Sarah Akpu weaves in this powerful message about community.
Zaram's strength doesn't just come from her powers. It comes from her connection with Osina, her mom, the villagers.
It shows us that even when we're facing crazy challenges, we're not alone.
Human connection and support, it's our anchor.
Speaking of challenges, the book doesn't shy away from fear. We see how it can drive people, manipulate them.
The Dream Lord, he's a master of using fear for control.
He is. But even Aja, his right-hand man, has a more interesting view of fear. He says it's not always bad, that it can create order.
It makes you wonder, is fear really always the enemy?
Right. And Zarm's journey, that's a perfect example. She learns to face her fears not by ignoring them, but by understanding them.
It's a more empowering way to deal with fear.
Totally. It's like true strength comes from facing your vulnerabilities, not pretending they aren't there. And that's where hope comes in, the book's central theme.
And hope isn't passive here. It's an active force.
It's what gives Zarm the strength to protect those she loves, to challenge the dream world itself.
It's a powerful message, especially in a world that can feel overwhelming sometimes.
Right. It reminds us that even in dark times, hope can lead us to a brighter future.
And the way Princess Sarah Akku writes, it's beautiful. She paints such vivid pictures.
Of both the dream world and the real world. It's not just what you see and hear, but what you feel.
It's amazing storytelling. You're right there in the story with her.
She blends fantasy and realism so well that the world feels magical and believable at the same time. It's the kind of story that stays with you.
Makes you think about dreams, about human connection, about the strength of hope when things are tough.
Exactly. And for those who want more, there's a sequel, The Dreamweaver's Burden. It's going to be epic, I can tell.
I'm already hooked.
Me too. But before we jump into the sequel, let's take a moment to reflect. What really struck you about The Dreamweaver?
What did you learn about dreams and the power of hope? Think about how these themes connect to your own life as we move into our final segment. Welcome back to our deep dive into The Dreamweaver. We've gone from this vibrant Nigerian village to the deepest parts of this captivating dream world.
It's been quite a journey, and as we wrap up, let's focus on Zarm's transformation, her inner journey.
She's gone through a lot.
She really embodies the hero's journey, but with this really cool feminine twist.
Oh, absolutely. It's not about being tough or aggressive.
Exactly. Her strength comes from empathy, compassion, and that rock-solid belief in hope. She's relatable, inspiring, especially for young readers.
And that strength is constantly tested, right? The Dream Lord's temptations, those creepy dark weavers, the constant threat of nightmares. She faces it all head on.
It forces her to confront her own weaknesses, make some really hard choices.
And her victories, they're not always picture perfect, are they?
No, there's a cost, a sense of sacrifice. Princess Sarah Akpu is telling us that real growth, real leadership, it often means making tough calls, even when there's no easy answer.
And those choices get even harder as Zarm steps into her role as the Dreamweaver, protecting the balance between dreams and reality.
That's a huge responsibility.
Way bigger than just her village.
Right. And this is where the book's take on dreams gets really philosophical.
It makes you think about how our inner and outer worlds are connected, suggesting that the dreams we create can actually shape what's real.
It's a mind-blowing idea, especially when you remember the Dream Fairy's warning. Dreams are always under threat, not just from outside, but from inside ourselves, too.
Which makes you wonder, if dreams reflect who we are, what do our nightmares tell us? Can we, like Zarm, learn to bring more hope and light into our own dreams?
Big questions, right? And those activity questions at the end of the book, they're not just prompts, they're like a call to action. Princess Sarah Akpu wants us to really engage with these ideas, explore our own dreams and fears.
It's not just a story, it's an invitation. An invitation to examine our own lives, our own dreams.
Exactly. And it's not just for young readers. Anyone who's felt the power of a dream, the pull of imagination, can connect with this.
Totally. The Dreamweaver is such a powerful story for our times. It reminds us that even when everything seems dark and uncertain, hope can still win.
It's a call to embrace our dreams, face our fears, and believe in a brighter future, one dream at a time.
Before we wrap up completely, I have one last thought. We've been talking about dreams in this fictional world, but what if we applied those same ideas to our real lives?
Ooh, I like where you're going with this.
What if we saw our everyday reality as a kind of shared dream? A tapestry woven from everyone's hopes, fears, and dreams.
Whoa, that's deep. But imagine if we truly believed that dreams could shape reality, wouldn't we approach things differently?
Everything would change. How we interact, the choices we make, how we create change.
It's a radical idea, but so fascinating. Princess Sarah Akpu isn't just asking us to read about a dreamweaver, but to become dreamweavers ourselves.
And that's the magic of this book. It's not just entertaining, it makes you think. It pushes us to see things differently, to tap into our own power, to create a world that reflects our deepest dreams.
Absolutely. So listener, as we come to the end of this deep dive, we encourage you to check out The Dreamweaver for yourself.
Let Zarm's journey inspire you. Embrace your own dreams, face your fears, and weave your own threads of hope into the world.
And keep dreaming, keep questioning, keep exploring. Until next time, may your dreams be filled with light, hope, and all the magic of what's possible.